I didn't understand being coached in business. We didn't understand like business operations. We were just running a gym and coaching people. Okay, so what led me to Two Brain? Okay, so back to the hard times. I reached out to Chris. My name is Lacey Rhodes. My wife and I own CrossFit Outlaw North. We started as a CrossFit affiliate. We are still an affiliate, and yeah, it'll be 13 years in July. We were both very deep into CrossFit, and that was like the era of competing and everything. So it served a purpose for us, and we've always had a passion with it and training people and helping people. But in terms of the actual structure, like as a business, in the early years, definitely call it a hobby gym. We went through so many changes. We were living with Lacey's parents when we started the gym, so it's like we didn't have many expenses, and then the gym wasn't doing much, and then we bought a house and had a small mortgage, and then the gym started to grow. And like when you don't really pay attention to that stuff and have those dialed in, it just seems like you never quite have enough. I would say our first really challenging period of time financially in 2014, so about 2 years into it, we had our first like mass exodus, something that I would call maybe a mistake. Like we just put way too much focus on to like getting a team to the CrossFit Games that year, and it sort of disrupted culture and stuff. Yeah, that hurt bad. We ended up paying our mortgage for our house with gift money from our wedding for a couple of months. I was fairly well connected with Dave Castro at that time, and I remember emailing him and basically telling him I didn't know what to do, but we couldn't pay our affiliate fee. Like I believe in it, I love it, I don't have any money. And he comped us for that year, which was helpful, unexpected, but also like it was sort of a Band-Aid. Like it didn't actually fix the problem of like we need to figure out how to make some money. I mean, we didn't understand how to operate a business. We didn't understand like business operations. We were just running a gym and coaching people, which sounds super simple, but like any business, there's just things for it to grow and for it to operate and be optimized, like you need to understand how to run a business. And then as things did get better operationally, it was like building a team. We didn't quite know how to go about that, and hiring, and we weren't even taking home full-time type money. So like, how do you hire someone full-time? So there were so many questions to be answered. Fall of 2014, I reached out to Chris, and I had seen him putting out content, helping gym owners, essentially. Here I am like, shoot, like I'm gonna have to call this guy and like tail between my legs, like, hey, I'm competing in like a recognized name in Canada East, but like, I don't know what I'm doing, man, and it's not going well. We had a chat, and I remember he sort of tried to help me, and then he was like, this is what it looks like to work with me, and I didn't understand being coached in business or like being helped and mentored in business, and so I didn't do it. Once we sort of had enough, where it was like, okay, like here's that gap of money that we made up, I was like, I just don't know what else to do. And I know this guy enough that I trust him, because I wasn't just gonna sign up with anybody, and that's how we got started, yeah. It was just learning what we didn't know. Like I kind of think of wandering down like a dark hallway, and then someone gives you a flashlight, and you can kind of see where you're going a little bit. When I initially signed up with Chris, I thought that once I paid him, like he swoops in and saves us. And that's just not how it works. Again, you're handed the flashlight, and then things illuminate a little bit, but you still have to do the work and make the hard decisions and change things. It's your business. No one's gonna do it for you. And the reality was, you're working with people who have done what you're trying to do, and they know it's hard, but they're gonna help guide you, right? So they're gonna listen to where you're at and help guide the next steps. Responsibility is really what it came down to, is having people that you could talk to that were ahead of you, but it just gave me a whole different view of what our business actually was. I went to my first meetup, so I got to be around people. I got to be around these other gym owners. I've gone away for like CrossFit meetups and stuff, and it was like, I thought we were gonna be talking like gym and fitness and stuff, and I found I was a child in the room of business owners, and so it was good. It was like, you don't wanna be the smartest person in the room. I walked away from that meetup knowing that we needed to raise our prices, and we had a plan in place. Basically, it was like put back onto me our value. Like, someone said to me, like, you're talking about $10 here, which multiplied across a number of people, like that's gonna move a needle for you. For them, it's $10. And they said to me, like, For someone to get into your place, like where you are right now with a gym, with these clients, with all the experience, with all of your background that you bring, what is that worth? And I was like, all right, I think you just sold me on the 10 bucks. So that was the first time that I really got uncomfortable and did something that I didn't think that we could do, and it went really well. One of the best things that we've implemented, that we've gotten from Two Brain, one of the best decisions we've made is the implementation of our ATC course, Advanced Theory course. So essentially our process of how we hire coaches. I'm being a little bit facetious, but like back in the early days was like, if you had a muscle up, it's like, okay, go coach a CrossFit class, you're ahead of everybody. But that doesn't mean that you've got the right person in a coaching role. It allows us to go behind the scenes with the gym. It allows us to see them interact and kind of be part of a team in those meetings. And then from there, we go on to like the practical and getting certified and everything. So in terms of how it affects the profitability, it allows us to grow the team. It allows us to get Lacey and I out of all of the delivery hours to work on the business and then grow the business from there. Last year, I believe we averaged, I think it was 73,000 per month. This is Lacey and I's full-time thing, so it's like we're talking a dual income. But yeah, I mean, it's 10x, and we haven't really done anything crazy. It just has been a sustained effort. Like we're talking almost 9 years, 10 years in the Two Brain ecosystem, and just kind of figuring out how to push things forward, being around people that are trying to do the same thing, and so you pick up so much stuff from other people as well. So just, I guess, continuing to stay uncomfortable and like looking for ways to grow and serve more people and fill that need for value. Gym owners will understand this, like hopefully, or business owners. You don't necessarily want to be serving everybody. You don't want to be serving necessarily someone that's looking for like the cheapest gym membership, because often they're going to come to you with the most complaints or problems as well. If someone is not looking for what we offer, I don't want to try to sign them up. Again, we're years into this, and at times it can still feel like, you know, you're never off and it's busy, but there is a lot of freedom and flexibility in my schedule that I'm very thankful and grateful for. I've worked hard for. It's allowed us to take a week, 2 weeks completely away from the gym at times, and in growing a young family. Currently, we've got a 13-week-old and an almost 4-year-old. It's very important to me. Like, I don't know what I would do without that. What's an aspect of the business I still consider to be a work in progress? We've realized that for our gym to be thriving, the first level of that is the staff need to be happy. That's something you sort of have to have your finger on the pulse of all the time. Firmly believe that like when you are taken care of, both in terms of like your purpose and financially, you will do better to help other people. Like I've seen that in myself, I've seen that in many other people. Specific guidance that I would give to people before starting Two Brain is just be open. You're likely here. Almost all of us came to Two Brain in this way. You're likely here because you don't have it all figured out. And there are people that are on the same path, just a little bit further ahead. They might not run the exact same gym as you do, but there's going to be similarities and there's going to be differences, but there's a lot of operationally similar things. So just being open and not being closed off when someone suggests to do something maybe that you're not doing or you do a different way. There's usually a reason why.